I still remember my very first sacred sexual moment. It was when I met my partner 5 years ago and we became intimate, and it was the best sex I had ever had in my life. I had this extreme full-bodied yes. It was like I wanted nothing else than to commune with him, and in communing with him, in meeting with him in such a deep and profound way, I felt like I opened myself up. I surrendered into this knowing of God. I surrendered into this understanding of the universe and how I am an aspect of this universe, how I am an aspect of the divine, how my cellular makeup is a part of this entire universe's cellular makeup. I remember laying on the bed one morning after we had an orgasmic session together, and the sunlight came in through the window and it was shining on me. I felt the warmth, the rays of the lights just lighting my entire being up, and I recognized that God believes this is good, this is sacred, this is all things yes. From that moment on, I really realized that there was this sacred component to sex and a sacred component to my own sexuality. Yet it's taken me these 5 years since then to really hone in and touch in on what this truly is. It's also taken me intentionally connecting with myself, not just with another, to really recognize what the sacredness is inside of myself. Because truly, if we want to have transformative sex, if we want to have epic orgasms and this deep, deep connection with others, it takes first knowing our own sacredness. It takes first understanding our own sexuality, really connecting with ourselves and with the divine on that level before we can truly surrender to having that sacred union with others. I don't know about you, but I grew up with a religion and a spirituality that told me that sexuality and spirituality were two very opposite things. I didn't have any sort of idea or notion that the two could actually come together and that there was even such a thing as sacred sexuality. Basically, sexuality was shrouded in this fear, this guilt, this shame, this feeling like I was doing something wrong. Even if I masturbated or self-pleasured or felt that kind of turn on when I was a teenager, I felt horrible. Like this was such a disgusting part of me. Like it shouldn't be allowed to exhibit itself. It really was unhealthy, and it was somehow separating me from God, separating me from divine, separating me from all that I knew I wanted to connect with. So most of us grow up thinking that sexual energy is basically the opposite of spiritual energy, and that spiritual energy cannot coexist with sexual energy. But the truth of the matter is that our spirituality can actually be deeply, deeply impacted and influenced and enhanced by our sexuality. So my belief is that the health of our mental body, the health of our emotional body, the health of our psychological body, is all rooted in the health of our sexual body. We cannot be incomplete persons. We cannot just celebrate a mental aspect or an emotional aspect of ourselves. We can't just celebrate the divine spiritual aspect of ourselves without also celebrating and acknowledging the sexual component of who we are. Because our sexuality is our life force. It is what creates life, and it is what brings in life. Our creativity, our understanding of ourselves, our deepest, most knowing is rooted in our sexuality. And if we're cut off from that, if we block that, if we put up walls against that, then we aren't celebrating the fullness of who we are. And we truly can't tap into our emotional, mental, psychological, and overall spiritual health if we're also not taking care of our sexual health at the same time. So how can you tap into your sexuality in a sacred way? Well, there's many different ways. Really, the truth of the matter is understanding what sacredness means to you. How do you know that something is sacred? Does it touch you deep inside your heart? Does it make you come alive? Does it transport you to other places? Truly understand what sacredness means to you. And then I invite you to go on a journey to discover your sacredness within your sexuality. Step 1. Set up a sacred pleasure space just for you, an area that feels safe and sexy. Bring in aspects to this space that help it feel sacred and spiritual. Maybe some incense, candles, an altar, or diffusing essential oils. Step 2. Set an intention or prayer. Something like, may I find divinity within my sexuality, or I set an intention to feel the sacredness within my body. You can also call in spirit guides, angels, the goddess, divinity into your space and allow them to empower and embolden you. Step 3. Rub your hands together and infuse them with sacred energy. Blow kisses at them. Then get oil, put it in your hands, rub back and forth, and really feel the energy between your hands. These sacred hands do so much for you, and today they are offering their sacred gift of pleasure to your body. Step 4. Begin stroking your entire body with the oil. Act as if it's the first time you're seeing your body, and you're seeing everything as holy and good. Send loving energy into all areas of your body, your heart, and your soul. Step 5. Begin stroking your inner thighs, the outside of your vaginal lips, your vulva, and your butt. Step 6. Ask your body permission, and if you receive a yes, stroke your clitoris and begin stroking your vaginal opening. Feel into the sensations of pleasure in your body. Step 7. Get out a handheld mirror, maybe use a pillow to prop up your neck and head, and look at your vulva and vagina like you're seeing it for the very first time. Look at it through the eyes of the one who created it, this sacred spot. This beautiful pussy is a creation of the goddess. It's the spot of the creation of life itself. Revel at the holy magnitude and awe of this sacred spot that belongs to you. Step 8. Love yourself. Soothe your nervous system. Ask yourself what you need. Accept all aspects and all parts of yourself who came up to speak today. Whether you feel awesome or totally disgusted, allow those feelings. You can curl up in a ball, in a fetal position, or you can touch your face and your body lovingly. Step 9. End the session with an intention or prayer. Reflect on the experience that you just had and set an intention in how you'll live into the sacredness of your sexuality moving forward. If it helps, you can journal about the experience, or in the comments below you can write about your experience, or you can reach out to me individually and tell me how this experience was for you. Recognize that you are divine, that your pussy is divine, and this part of you, the sexuality within you, is all a part of the oneness of this universe. And root yourself in that oneness of this universe and how your body, your sexuality offers you this intimate connection with everything on this planet. You are divine, you are sacred, and you absolutely deserve to feel the sacredness within your sexuality, to acknowledge your pleasure as something profound, and to feel the depth of divinity within your sexual being.